Bom dia para todos e para todas. Estamos começando nosso segundo webinar sobre os países BRICS Plus, uma iniciativa do BRICS Policy Center que chamamos BRICS Plus em diálogo. Nossa discussão fundamental, ou nossa ideia fundamental, deixa eu tirar isso. Nossa ideia fundamental era fazer uma discussão com os novos países membros do BRICS. Nós já fizemos uma reunião, um diálogo, umas 2 semanas atrás, com a representante do Emirados Árabes acho que era esse, Emirados Árabes e já esqueci se alguém me lembra. Emirados Árabes e Irã. Foi uma discussão bastante interessante, sobretudo para olhar qual era a perspectiva de cada um destes países em fazer parte dos BRICS, quais eram as aspirações, qual é de alguma maneira, qual é a relação com os países BRICS e o que se espera para o futuro. Hoje é nosso segundo diálogo e temos o prazer de estar aqui presentes, que aceitaram com muita rapidez, nossos dois convidados. Nós temos a Nura El-Sheikh, que é doutora em ciência política pela Universidade do Cairo, que é professora também de ciência política na Faculdade de Economia e Ciência Política também da Universidade do Cairo. Ela também é membro do Conselho Egípcio de Relações Exteriores, e a Nura vai compartilhar conosco um pouco quais são as visões do Egito nessa sua incursão nesse agrupamento dos BRICS. Todos sabemos que estamos às portas de uma nova cúpula, a semana próxima, e estamos todos um pouco curiosos do que vai significar essa cúpula. Será que vai ter novos membros? Será que o BRICS vai se expandir muito mais? Será que a agenda ela vai se abrir mais ou vai se consolidar em uma agenda muito clara para uma nova arquitetura internacional e alguns outros instrumentos para tentar consolidar uma proposta desde os países do Sul? Nós vimos ontem que uma proposta que vai ser apresentada será de países associados ou de países observadores, e esse seguramente vai ser discutido na semana próxima. Também que são muitos os países que fizeram uma demanda de ingresso formalmente, mais ou menos em torno de 30 ou 34 países, significa que os BRICS eles estão tomando consistência. Mas, obviamente, vamos ver o que vai acontecer na reunião da semana próxima. Também está conosco representante do Egito, o Dareskedar Tai, que também é doutor em ciência política pela Universidade de Addis Abeba, pesquisador do Instituto de Relações Exteriores. É um instituto que realiza pesquisas e análises sobre questões de relações exteriores, relações internacionais, dá orientação para a política aos formadores de política, treina e capacita todo o pessoal de relações exteriores e atua como um centro de excelência para a diplomacia do país. Queria agradecer vocês dois por estarem aqui conosco. Nossa dinâmica, geralmente, cada um mais ou menos uns 20 minutos, meia hora, sobre essa perspectiva de cada um dos países, e depois podemos abrir um diálogo, uma, duas questões ou comentários, e agradeceria. como já falei, este é o nosso primeiro contato com esses países do BRICS Plus, e com certeza vamos a ter outras oportunidades e outras discussões, sobretudo tendo em conta que o Brasil vai sediar a cúpula em 2025. Então, muito obrigado. Talvez podíamos começar com a Nura, que nos vai trazer toda a perspectiva do Egito e sua participação nos BRICS.
Thank you. First of all, thank you, Maria, for such invitation and inviting us. Actually, building such bridges, which is very important to BRICS countries, because it is not a governmental entity only, but it is people-to-people entity. And it is our duty to support all efforts and all contacts of BRICS. So thank you so much for your invitation, and so happy to be with you, and also migrating to all friends and colleagues. Actually, I wanted to mention some points before I'm going to Egypt and BRICS. First of all, and I don't know if you're sharing me the same view or not, but BRICS now, it is the South group. I mean, G7, it is North group. I mean, all of them ex-colonized countries, big industries, etc., etc. But for BRICS, it giving us as a South a great opportunity. And I feel that it is our group in Global South, because actually all of us in BRICS are Global South. Maybe, yes, Russia is not a global, it is not South, but it is always, along its history, very close to us in the South, and very integrated and very helpful to most of our countries. So I think that BRICS now, I considered as the group of Global South. This is first of all. The second, it is that BRICS cannot succeed in its goals, or to achieve its goals, unless there is a support from other Global South countries. We are, as 10 countries, we cannot change the whole global economic system. The goals and inspirations are very high and are very promising, and it needs to have cooperation and support from all Global South. And we need to attract not necessarily members, but partners and friends from all Global South to succeed in achieving our goals. I think also we have great challenge. Yes, we have great goals, great aspiration, but at the same time, we have great challenge. From my point of view, the greater the goals, the greater the challenge we face. It is not easy to change the whole economic world order and to create a new one, which is more fair, more balanced, having opportunities for all. I think it's not easy, but it depends upon our will. The more we have will and true will to go forward in the new economic world order, I think that would allow us to face the challenges and to overcome such challenges. So I think that the starting point is to enhance our partnership as member within BRICS, as members, and also between BRICS members and other countries in our region. For example, in Africa, we can consolidate our partnership among each other as members of BRICS, and between us and other African countries. Through that, we can spread our goals, spread our partnership, and make BRICS stronger and stronger. BRICS allow opportunities for all. It is actually open for all. It's a mechanism that creates open for all. For example, what we called about BRICS Pay or BRICS Pay Bridge, dollarization and depend on national currencies. All BRICS Bank and Asian Bank led by China, all of them actually open for all. And it is our responsibility as global South, as world majority, to move forward with BRICS countries in such procedures. It is the only way to impose a change, really change on the ground, and really change in the economic world order. For Egypt, yes, we like all global South, and I think many other BRICS countries facing challenges, facing pressures from here or there, but I think that we confirm our will to be within BRICS and to go forward in changing the whole world with BRICS. So because this is for Egypt, it's very important in the opportunities BRICS allow, and also concerning trade, investments, even tourism, etc. But it is also important that we can share and we can add or be one of the states that leading the world force for or driving force for change economically and for sure strategically and politically. I'm here. I will stop, and of course it will be time pressure if there is any question later on. Thank you.
Muito obrigada, Nura. Eu acho que é excelente um pouco esse primeiro panorama do que pensa Egito e por que estar nesse lugar. É super importante, e depois vamos continuar um pouco nossa conversa. Poderíamos continuar então com o nosso colega da Etiópia, Dar, pode ser? Dar. Yes,
yeah,
please.
Sorry, the interpreter or the translation is not working. Okay, thank you very much for inviting me to share my ideas, my thoughts about BRICS, about my country, and about the foreign policy orientation that Ethiopia is implementing both in the past and in the present. And I will try to be very brief. I will take about 5 minutes to talk about Ethiopian foreign policy and our accession to the BRICS and the way we are integrating with the BRICS. So Ethiopia is a country that is rapidly growing in terms of economy. Ethiopian economy is now growing 7%, 6%, 8% per year. This year, we have about 7%. Next year is expected to be 6 point something. So that we can say that Ethiopian economy is one of the rapidly growing economies. Again, its population size is also rapidly growing. Now we have about 129 million people, and in the near future, it will be more than 150 million. So it's becoming rapidly growing. At the same time, when we see the size of the country, it's a very big country. We can say that it is 2 times the size of France or 3 times the size of Germany. So it's a big country, and we have lots of mountains and deserts and the like, rivers. So this is what Ethiopia looks like, just to give you a highlight about Ethiopia. And in terms of the foreign policy that we have, of course, Ethiopian foreign policy can be understood when one sees the history of the country. I mean, Ethiopia is a country with more than thousands of years of history, and it's a country that survived the Ottoman Empire, that survived colonialism. We have never been colonized in the late 19th century. So Ethiopians fought a lot for their independence. and we resisted colonial forces, and so that we were the only countries never been colonized. And it's only when we see the history of Ethiopia that we can properly understand the foreign policy orientation that we follow. Of course, Ethiopian foreign policy is determined by lots of factors. First factor that determines Ethiopian foreign policy is our location. We're found in the Horn of Africa, and we say that we are proximate to the Red Sea, and in the southern parts, there is some sort of a fragile government. So our location matters a lot in our foreign policy. Again, our natural resource endowments also determine our foreign policy. Ethiopia is a country that has lots of transboundary rivers, that has lots of transboundary natural resources. That also shaped the foreign policy of Ethiopia. Again, our history also determines our foreign policy. But recently, in the past 20, 30 years, the Ethiopian foreign policy is practically determined by the economic condition of the country. We have a good experience of economic growth in the past 20 years. So sustaining this economic growth, even through foreign policy, was an essential goal of Ethiopian foreign policy. So we can say that economic growth has been another determinant factor. And the other can be the leadership preference of the country, also determine our foreign policy. So we can say that our current foreign policy by itself considers our history, our economic development, our resource that we have. All this affects our foreign policy. So this is a brief highlight about the foreign policy. Now we have foreign policy of neutrality in the world where it's experiencing somehow what we call great power condition. We try to be neutral. We try to be pragmatist in engaging all competing powers and the like. Again, it is with this philosophy that we joined BRICS. And Ethiopia joined BRICS basically, I could say, for two reasons. One is for diversification. I mean, we have a foreign policy of diversification in terms of, it's not good. It's not good to be dependent upon one group. It's not good to be dependent upon one source of finance. It's not good to be dependent upon one single country. So as a country, we have a principle of diversifying friendliness, diversifying source of finance and the like. So this is one reason, and the other is related with experience that we had in the past 3 years. In the past 3 years, the country experienced lots of diplomatic pressure, especially coming from the West, so that at the time Ethiopia was forced to look for alternative friendly states. So at the time it was Brazil, it was basically China, India, and Russia that helped Ethiopia even in the Security Council. So Ethiopia found that it's good to have multiple engagements. Yeah, it's not, Ethiopia never stopped engagement with the West through the United Nations, Security Council, and the like, but Ethiopia also found that it's also necessary to engage with other powers, even in the BRICS platform. So for diplomatic purpose, as well as for economic purpose, we joined BRICS. And when we see our relation that we have with BRICS countries, of course, those BRICS countries are very friendly to Ethiopia, starting from the past 100 years. For example, when we see Russia, we had, Ethiopia has a type of bilateral diplomatic relation with Russia since the late 19th century. So we enjoyed more than 100 years of diplomatic history. And especially during Cold War, because Ethiopia was somehow a socialist type of government for about 2 decades, then that type of the bilateral relation was developing during Cold War. But later, after the end of Cold War, it was somehow slower down. But now we had very good bilateral relation. When we see our relation with China, China is one of the leading foreign direct investment source for Ethiopia. So you find Chinese in Ethiopia everywhere. They are in the economy, they are in the infrastructure development and the like. When we see India, with India, Ethiopia has a very good economic and social relationship. When I say social, that means Indian professors and school teachers were the first teachers in Ethiopia, even before 100 years ago. So we had a very good relationship with Indians. I, by myself, was taught by Indian professors. So again, in terms of economy, Indians are now coming to Ethiopia as foreign direct investors. I could say we have a very good relationship with India as well. Even with Brazil, Brazilian investors are coming to Ethiopia now. They are doing well, and we have a very political diplomatic relationship since the time of Cold War. So we have to maintain that. And with South Africa, of course, with African platforms, and since the time of apartheid era, we were supporting African National Congress in its fight against apartheid, and we were working together after the liberation of South Africa. We enjoyed a very good relationship with BRICS members. Even now with new members, with most of the new members of the BRICS, we have very good bilateral relationship. Having said, some criticized Ethiopia's accession or our joining of BRICS. Some say that Ethiopia has dropped its foreign policy of neutrality. But for Ethiopia, it's not a matter of just cutting its relationship with the West and then shifting its relation to the East. It's not about just stopping its relation with the one and then improving its relation with the other. But for Ethiopia, it's about multiplying your friendly relationship with different groups. I mean, we don't have the luxury to choose one bloc. We need to work with everyone. But by joining BRICS, we're trying to strengthen our relationship with the BRICS group, because BRICS represents the voice of the South. Again, we share lots of problems and lots of prospects with the members of the groups, because most BRICS countries are developing countries and recently developed countries. As a developing country, we share lots of prospects with these groups, so that we believe that we are trying to multiply our relationship with those. And about our expectation from BRICS, I mean, by joining BRICS, Ethiopia expects many things. The first thing that we expect is we expect more investment. We expect Chinese, Russians, Indians, Brazilians, investors to come, because we have now got better platform to deal our differences, to solve our differences through BRICS platforms. And we can now establish currency swap systems through BRICS platform. We now have an opportunity to have a very close relationship with BRICS member countries. So we expect more investment from BRICS. At the same time, Ethiopia actually officially requested BRICS to join the New Development Bank. I mean, Ethiopia requested joining New Development Bank to be automatic when a new member joins BRICS. So we also expect joining New Development Bank, because it provides an opportunity for Ethiopia to get an alternative financial source. At the same time, as BRICS countries have lots of tourism potential, we also expect more tourists coming from China, from Iran, from Emirates or Russia, or from Brazil and the like. So that's important expectation that we have. At the moment, I'm trying to finalize my speech. At the moment, Ethiopia is trying to integrate with the BRICS system. Of course, it's been about a year since we joined BRICS, and we realized that even though BRICS is not a treaty-based organization like UN or something, IMF and something like that, there are lots of areas in which the country has to integrate with BRICS. BRICS has a people-to-people system. BRICS has economic integration system. BRICS works for the integration of foreign policy. BRICS works for the integration of different government agencies and the like. So we are trying to integrate with the existing BRICS system. That's all what I have. Thank you for the chance. I hope Ethiopia will soon finalize its integration with BRICS and will contribute a lot for the improvement of BRICS at large. Thank you very much.
Muito obrigado, Daresquidar. Eu acho que temos um problema com nossa colega com a professora Nura, que acho que caiu a conexão, mas estamos tentando nos reconectar. Mas aqui eu queria agradecer muito sua participação e colocar aqui algumas questões que as pessoas que nos estão assistindo também estão colocando algumas questões e comentários, que eu acho que é importante. Bom, primeiro que eu queria trazer era, eu acho que é muito importante a participação da Etiópia. Era um país, falo sinceramente como brasileira que acompanhamos os BRICS, não sei, que nós não estávamos esperando que ingressasse nos BRICS. Também não estávamos esperando nenhum país, na verdade. A ideia da expansão, ela foi um pouco surpresa, digamos. O ano passado tinha toda a possibilidade, mas não estava muito seguro de que essa expansão ia acontecer. Mas eu acho que o Brasil, pessoalmente, o Brasil e nós achamos muito interessante que 2 países africanos ingressassem também nos BRICS, não é? Isso dá muita fortaleza ao continente, porque é um continente que tem 3 países membros dos BRICS, que não acontece com nenhum dos outros. Então, isso já é um elemento bastante importante. Não sei como, de repente, você fazer um comentário sobre isso, e que a África está muito bem representada, digamos, nesse grupo dos BRICS. Nós, por exemplo, a América Latina, só está o Brasil, obviamente. Tinha a possibilidade de entrar a Argentina, mas ele não entrou, mas, por enquanto, é só o Brasil. E nós achamos que, mientras mais países, dá uma consolidação também no continente, dentro do agrupamento dos BRICS, que isso é bastante importante. E eu vou tentar recolher aqui algumas questões, e de repente a gente continua conversando, e eu já vi que nossa professora Nura voltou. Nura, tudo tranquilo? Is okay with the connection? Espero que sim. Ela está por aqui. Mas só para continuar aqui, depois eu vou colocar umas questões. It's not working, the translation?
So shall I reflect on? Yeah.
It's working.
Yeah, concerning Africans' participation in BRICS, yeah, we Africans, I think 2 months ago, I was in Tanzania and talking about African scholars, about BRICS participation, about reforming the governance, global governance structure and the like. I mean, in Africa, there is, a feeling of being alienated from the global governance system, because in the global governance system, like in the UN and the Security Council, Africa is not represented. Of course, at the time when the UN system was established, Africa was under colonialism. But after colonialism, many things has changed. Now Africa is experiencing economic growth. Africa is emerging as a continent of the future. So the global governance structure doesn't recognize this reality. But when it comes to BRICS, now we are 3 countries within BRICS, and in the foreseeable future, I hope at least 2 or 3 countries will also join BRICS, but the interest to join BRICS from Africa is more than that. Many countries want to join BRICS, but at least at the moment in the BRICS system, 3 countries, one from the east, one from the north, and one from south, are already within BRICS. This shows that the BRICS system is more representative as an emerging global governance system, more representative than the existing traditional institution, global governance institution. So the other point that I want to raise as an African, that whenever you travel across Africa, I mean, the feeling of the historical injustice that Africa has experienced in the past is still alive. Many still comment on that. We are not treated well in the governance structure. So I believe that BRICS is providing better opportunity, and it is treating Africans as equal partners. So this is what Africa is looking for at this time. Thank you very much.
Obrigada, Dariscar. Eu vou continuar com algumas perguntas. Eu acho que a Nurad caiu de novo. Mas aqui temos muitas perguntas sobre Egito, que eu acho que é bem interessante. A primeira pergunta que nos está fazendo, e comentários que nós temos aqui, está fazendo o Júlio. Ele está trazendo uma questão que nós conhecemos um pouco, que diz que os investimentos chineses na Etiópia são volumosos e são bem importantes, não é? A relação com a China, da Etiópia. Se vocês acham que estar nos BRICS, isso vai favorecer muito mais também a relação com a China, sobretudo em termos de ajudar muito mais em termos do crescimento econômico. E se estar nos BRICS, isso poderia também ajudar bastante nesse comércio intra-BRICS e esse crescimento com os outros países dos BRICS, que imagino que vocês têm uma boa relação política com todos os países, mas não sei como será a relação econômica com todos os outros países. Se vocês pensam que esse é um momento, talvez é uma estratégia, uma possibilidade de que o comércio, o investimento, e etc., dos outros países, e aqui o Júlio faz muita ênfase na África, isso é importante. Depois tem outras que talvez eu vou colocar aqui sobre questões de segurança alimentar, questões de transição energética, um pouco... mas vamos começar por isso. Se vocês pensam que essa relação que a Etiópia tem com a China, que é muito forte, em termos de investimento, em termos de comércio, ela pode melhorar seguramente com a entrada dos BRICS, e pode também melhorar a relação econômica com os outros países que são membros dos BRICS.
Thank you for your question. In any bilateral and multilateral relation among countries, there are some areas that are exclusively addressed through bilateral engagements. There are some areas that can better be addressed through somehow in a multilateral arrangement, like through BRICS, through different regional organizations and the like. So with China, of course, Ethiopia has a very strong economic relationship at the moment. And some of the economic relationship that we have with China can further be strengthened through bilateral arrangements. I mean, of course, we have well-established bilateral relationship with them. And this, I hope, will also continue. But there are also other issues that can be addressed through multilateral or minilateral arrangements like BRICS. So in the BRICS, for example, we may require joining the new development bank. So China may help us to join that. Or China, among the top issues that are found in the BRICS at this time is common payment system. I think that's the current agenda within BRICS. So with that, we may have a mechanism of working together through BRICS platform to facilitate those arrangements. That's what I have.
Obrigada, Dariscari. Eu acho que a Nura não conseguiu entrar de novo, então eu vou só fazer outras duas perguntas, Dariscari, e agradeço bastante por estar aqui conosco, mas você vê que temos bastante curiosidade e, sobretudo, muito interesse de conhecer muito melhor nossos parceiros e nos BRICS, porque nós estamos convencidos, e acho que desde o BRICS Policy Center sempre trabalhamos de que a articulação tem que ser institucional e Estado-Estado, mas a articulação também tem que ser das sociedades, não é? Nas organizações, nos cidadãos, e essa aproximação como membros dessa organização dos BRICS. Eu queria fazer aqui duas perguntas, uma que traz a Lina, que acho que é interessante, e vou juntar um pouco com os outros. Ela pergunta se, como continente, você começou a falar um pouco sobre isso antes, se como continente, ao menos 3 países, têm uma estratégia comum para atuar nos BRICS, se isso já tem provocado, digamos, um trabalho conjunto coletivo para ir juntos dentro dos BRICS. E também, uma pergunta que queria juntar aí é qual a expectativa da Etiópia para a próxima cúpula, que é a semana próxima. E eu vou aproveitar para fazer para a Nura a mesma questão.
Yes, I'm so sorry for that technical and the electricity thing. I'm so sorry for missing your speeches. I'm so sorry. Please accept my apology. Sorry.
Tranquila, não tem menor problema, nós sabemos que essas coisas sempre acontecem. Eu estava fazendo aqui, Nura, uma pergunta para os dois, que acho que é importante. A primeira, que é uma das pessoas que nos está assistindo, que se nós estávamos falando antes que temos 3 países no continente africano, que é bem importante e é novo. Isso não acontece na América Latina, nem acontece em outros continentes. E aqui, nossa pergunta da Lina, que nos está assistindo, é se os 3 países têm uma estratégia como continente para atuar nos BRICS. Se essa ser parte, os 3 países têm pensado, têm se juntado para pensar estrategicamente como atuar, não é? E o segundo é quais são as expectativas que tem tanto a Etiópia e que tem tanto o Egito para esta próxima cúpula da semana próxima em Kazan. Se vocês têm alguma expectativa, alguma agenda, se estão esperando algo em especial, se tem uma agenda cada um dos países, e talvez poderíamos começar por aí. Nurat.
Okay.
Não. Ok. Não.
Just 1 minute.
Okay.
Yes, it's okay?
It's
You heard?
okay, it's okay.
Okay. Of breaks that it allows differences. It respects the differences among us. Differences politically, economically, socially. So it allows each country to choose its way or its path toward the development, its own political system. So it has no conditionality the way it is followed by the West. So this is actually allow each African country to deal with the opportunities introduced by BRICS in its way. Unfortunately, we have no such common strategy for all the 3 African countries. And I think each of us having agenda and having its own vision toward BRICS and toward how far it benefit from BRICS. But that when each country trying to achieve its own interest and its own vision, that definitely will create some cooperation, some bridges between us. Although, of course, some differences exist. Yes, between Egypt and Ethiopia, maybe there are some issues, but this is in all over the world. I think Brazil also with other countries in Latin America, they have some issues. So I think BRICS would allow us to enhance our economic cooperation and also to overcome any differences or any problems we have. It will help for sure. And maybe through BRICS, we reach a common vision. But unfortunately, we didn't up to the date have such common agenda or common vision.
E qual é a expectativa para a próxima cúpula? Tem alguma expectativa Egito e Etiópia, depois da escala? Alguma expectativa do que será a próxima cúpula?
The next summit is very important. It is the first one since 2010 when it expanded. It's the first summit for Egypt and Ethiopia. So also the decision expected economically that BRICS Bay or BRICS bridge, BRICS currency, all that issues economically that will be discussed, it is highly important also. Politically, maybe in our region, in the Middle East, because Egypt have many regions, of interest. We have Middle East, we have Africa, we have also Mediterranean. For Middle East, what is going in Gaza, it's very important to us. So we expect, and today's President Putin in his meeting with some journalists and media mentioned clearly that they will discuss Gaza issue. So this is for us is highly important because Gaza is our border on our borders. Concerning Ethiopia, I think BRICS provide a good platform for the both Egyptian and Ethiopian leader to meet and to discuss our own issue because it's there are very important development for Egypt in such Ethiopian dam and how far we respect the Egyptian rights of water, of Nile, etc. So I think BRICS also may provide a quiet platform for that.
O professor Dariscar, algum comentário sobre isso, sobre expectativas para a próxima cúpula?
Yeah, I think first of all, I want to say a little bit about the importance of having a common strategy among African members within BRICS. In Africa, we have what we call African Union, and African Union has strategy 2063. So it has some goals that it wants to achieve in 2063. So I think these 3 giant African countries has to sit together and has to come up with some strategy. mean, Egypt, South Africa, and Ethiopia may have their own strategy. Of course, I know that Ethiopia has its own BRICS strategy, but as a common, I think it's good if these three countries sit together and develop a strategy that they want to achieve within BRICS. As my friend from Egypt has said, in this session, I hope Egypt and Ethiopia will get a chance to try to facilitate discussion, because there will be time for sideline events as well. So I hope the leaders from Ethiopia and the leaders from Egypt will sit together and try to discuss. So with this, I think BRICS is an important platform to, for example, in the past year, China tries to settle the difference between Iran and Saudi. So, you know, I mean, Iran is a new member to BRICS. At the same time, Saudi, even though there is some form of issue in its membership to BRICS, so they are trying to solve their differences on lots of issues. At the same time, I think if other members take the issue as top priority, then they can facilitate a good office for the discussion between Ethiopia and Egypt. I hope nothing is beyond discussion. I mean, any issue can be discussed around the table. And Ethiopian expectation in this summit is first, we need full-scale integration within BRICS. And the other is that we expect some form of financial form of what you call financial form of communication, any type of communication or any type of deal that may help to support the economy of Africa and the economy of Ethiopia. This is, I think, the expectation from Ethiopia and me as a researcher.
Ótimo. Pelo que estamos vendo, isso vai ser uma boa oportunidade dos países se juntarem e pensar uma estratégia. Eu queria terminar um pouco fazendo aqui algumas perguntas e alguns comentários, sobretudo para uma agenda que, para o Brasil especialmente, e para os países dos BRICS, começa a ser bastante importante, é toda a agenda ambiental e de mudança climática. Todos os países dos BRICS muito comprometidos, no seu tempo, logicamente, para fazer todos os processos de transição energética, sobretudo. E aqui temos algumas perguntas sobre isso. Eu queria um pouco, algumas respostas de vocês, um pouco sobre qual é como está o país em termos de transição energética, cada um dos países de vocês, como vocês pensam que estar nos BRICS poderia ajudar ou não nesse processo. Um pouco só para pensar nessa agenda também do meio ambiente, da mudança climática, da transição energética, que é uma agenda que nós, particularmente desde o Brasil, pensamos que é muito importante, tem toda uma agenda geopolítica, não é? Como vocês muito bem trouxeram, e nós concordamos totalmente, da fortalecimento do sul global, tentar fazer uma mudança na arquitetura internacional. Também tem uma agenda econômica importante para nós também, né? Nós somos um membro antigo dos BRICS e com certeza os BRICS nos têm ajudado muito nesse fortalecimento do comércio entre a BRICS, mas tem também essa agenda que é importante. O Brasil vai ser a sede da COP o ano próximo e seguramente dentro da agenda dos BRICS, quando seja a cúpula, que seguramente vai ser julho e agosto do ano próximo, além de toda essa discussão mais geopolítica ou mais econômica, ou todo o uso das moedas locais, etc., etc., essa agenda do meio ambiente também vai estar seguramente presente. Então, queria ver vocês como vocês pensam, desde cada um dos países de vocês, essa agenda dentro dos BRICS. Quem quer começar?
Shall I start or okay? Actually, you know that Egypt hosts COP27, and we are really keen in new and renewable energy because it is the future. Future for not only for Egypt but the whole world. So we are, first of all, we are going in a strategy to depend more and more on renewable energy and hydrogen, green hydrogen. We are building cooperation and partnership with many countries like Germany and others for green hydrogen and also for renewable energy. You know that Egypt have enough sun. We are plenty of sun. The sun is in Egypt the whole year. And we are trying to benefit from that gift of the sun and also the wind. We now, yes, it is not that much. It is only 12% of total energy used in Egypt, but we are trying to reach at least 35 or 40% in 10 years. And this would be great. Not only for Egypt, but green hydrogen. We are working in green hydrogen for only to be exported. I mean, we are building to provide other countries for that. And during COP27, we asked UN and rich countries to provide help for Global South and for Egypt, of course, as part of Global South, to move more and more toward renewable and renewable energy. Why? Because you know that renewable energy need two things. First of all, it needs money and finance because it's a little bit costly to have such renewable energy. And infrastructure. Yes, later on it is cheap, but to build the infrastructure needed for renewable energy, it needs quite finance and quite money. The second is technology, because in most of the cases, either from sun, from wind, green hydrogen, all that require technology, high tech. And in most of the cases also, either Egypt or I think most of Global South has no access and didn't have the know-how of such technology. So during COP27, we asked for both, for finance to help Global South to have renewable energy and also to introduce the needed help in technological field because we don't have such technology. This is what Egypt is going through, and we hope that it will succeed. But up to the date, there is no concrete steps from the rich countries and North countries really to have such funds through the UN to help us in the South.
Muito obrigada, Nura. Acho que compartilhamos muito esse ponto de vista. Não sei, Dariscar, talvez, qual é o posicionamento da Etiópia?
Yeah, concerning energy transition or clean energy production and the like, I think Ethiopia has a lot to share to the world. as I told you before, Ethiopia is a newcomer in development. Ethiopia started to experience economic growth in the past 2 decades, and we're trying to develop more in the future. And the source of energy in Ethiopian economy is clean energy, that is hydro energy. Even the dam that is being built and being finalized on River Nile is used for the production of clean energy. So we don't use coal for manufacturing purpose. We don't use another source of energy that pollutes the climate, and we use 100% clean energy. I think with this, we have a lot to share. At the same time, Ethiopia is aggressively implementing afforestation programs in every year. Billions of seedlings are being planted in every year. And now we are observing the change, the climate, the weather conditions being changed in Ethiopia. So the rainy seasons are becoming longer at this time. At the same time, there's also policy shifts in terms of vehicles that are imported into the country. So Ethiopia has banned importing diesel cars. We only import at this time those cars that are only electric. This is because Ethiopia is trying to shift toward this clean energy. So with this, I can say that we have a lot to share about energy for the world.
Obrigado. Eu entendo que todos somos países em desenvolvimento, todos estamos nos processos de alcançarmos as metas, e essa é uma importante discussão que vamos ter seguramente dentro dos países BRICS. Eu queria agradecer a presença de vocês dois, eu acho que foi muito importante para nós, tratar de nos aproximar muito mais de países tanto como Etiópia e como Egito, num processo de articulação que com certeza vamos ter muitas oportunidades de estar juntos e, sobretudo, agora que fazemos parte do mesmo grupo, convidar desde já para o ano próximo na cúpula no Brasil, onde seguramente desde o BRICS Policy Center vamos fazer muitas atividades como think tanks do BRICS Policy Center. Então, espero que este nosso próximo encontro seja presencial. Agradecer muito os dois, então, por participarem nesse tempo, mesmo com todas as dificuldades, e esperar, então, que nos encontremos em breve. Também agradecer a todos que participaram conosco, que estiveram aqui, que foram tão ativos com suas questões, seus comentários, e quero convidar a todos que no dia 7 de novembro, vocês vão receber aí o convite, a gente vai fazer um novo BRICS Plus em diálogo para avaliar a cúpula de Kazan e um pouco ver os encaminhamentos que vão sair de lá. Um bom dia para todos, uma boa noite para os que estão já, o dia está terminando, e agradecer de novo aos nossos dois convidados, a professora Ana Rupi e o professor Dariscar. Boa tarde.
Thank you for you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.